Gill Creek and Hyde Park Lake are located in Niagara County, New York, within the Niagara River watershed. Gill Creek is a 7.6-mile-long waterway which originates in the Tuscarora Nation, flowing south into the city of Niagara Falls, entering the Niagara River. The natural flow of Gill Creek has been altered several times, in different ways. Gill Creek is tunneled underground prior to flowing into Hyde Park, and is channelized and surrounded by industrial sites prior to flowing into the Niagara River. The creek is also dammed, which created Hyde Park Lake. Gill Creek is also impacted by stormwater runoff coming from highways and roadways in residential areas. These sources bring in different pollutants and excess nutrients into the waterway. Hyde Park Lake also is surrounded by Hyde Park Golf Course. Rainwater that flows from the land on this golf course also can bring in extra nutrients and fertilizers, impacting the water quality of Hyde Park Lake. Hyde Park Lake is classified by the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation as a Class B waterway. As a Class B waterway, Hyde Park Lake's best uses are for primary and secondary contact recreation, think kayaking and canoeing, and also for fishing. The water quality should allow for fish and wildlife to propagate and to survive. Hyde Park Lake does not meet its best uses at all times. Due to frequent harmful algal blooms on this lake, recreation has been impaired for several years. Gill Creek is classified by the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation as a Class C stream. Its best use is fishing. However, due to waterway impairments, especially from stormwater runoff, aquatic life, including fish, are impaired, and caution should be taken if consuming fish from these waters. Information on fish advisories and fish consumption can be found on the New York State Department of Health's website. Buffalo Niagara Waterkeeper also has information on fish consumption on our website, distilled into easier to understand pamphlets that are also in different languages. Hyde Park Lake is the site of a living shoreline restoration project, completed in 2018, that is part of Buffalo Niagara Waterkeeper's Living Shoreline Program. The Living Shorelines Program aims to restore both hardened and degraded shoreline areas to their natural, resilient, and self-repairing form, which will better support a sustainable, protective, and higher functioning ecosystem. This Living Shoreline project restored approximately 600 feet of shoreline. This improved the park experience for residents and visitors, and also improved water quality and provided crucial habitat for wildlife, including fish, bats, waterfowl, songbirds, and amphibians. Here is what the shoreline used to look like. It lacked vegetation and didn't provide much habitat for wildlife. Rainwater would also rush over this short grass into the lake, bringing extra sediment, nutrients, and other pollutants right into the water. Different types of habitats were created, including a cattail marsh, a woodland glade, a meadow, and aquatic habitat. Over a 3-year period, starting in 2016, Buffalo Niagara Waterkeeper and volunteers helped to plant over 1,000 native trees and shrubs along the Gill Creek corridor. This project was completed in order to reduce polluted stormwater runoff entering the creek by establishing a living transitional zone, or a riparian buffer, along the creek bank. The new trees and shrubs act as a filter, removing pollutants from stormwater runoff. In addition, the plant's root systems strengthen the shoreline, preventing erosion. The trees and their leaves provide shade, making the water temperature in the creek cooler, helping fish and other aquatic life. This riparian zone will create a biodiverse landscape and will also strengthen over time, providing wonderful habitat for wildlife and improving the water quality along the creek. This planting project helped Gill Creek, but there are still issues along this waterway. It will take a community-wide effort to restore it. This planting project did help to shift attention to this often ignored waterway and put it back on the right track.